In a forest, Drasa wakes up when she hears a plane arrive. She gets her weapon ready, and as soon as a man gets off the plane, he gets shot in the head. Meanwhile, former Marine Levi wakes up from a nightmare and decides to clear his head by resting at the beach. In the morning, he receives a text telling him to go to the Marine Corps base. Later at the base, Levi meets Agent Bartholomew. She knows he has an outstanding career as an elite sniper and no family or friends, so she's here to offer him a job. In Lithuania, Drasa meets with her father at the cemetery for the anniversary of her mother's death. Her dad recently learned that it's too late to treat his cancer, so he announces that if he isn't dead by February 14th, he'll self-delete so he can finally reunite with his wife on Valentine's Day. In September, Levi wakes up in a plane from an anesthesia-induced sleep. He asks a soldier where they are, but she isn't authorized to say. She takes all his personal items and tells him they're reaching a no-fly zone. He'll have to jump now and walk the rest of the way to his destination. Levi grabs the assigned bag and jumps, waiting for the right moment to open the parachute. He lands safely and begins his long journey, which entails lots of climbing, trekking, and camping. Eventually, Levi reaches the edge of a huge gorge. Here he meets soldier JD, who has been here for a year and doesn't know where they are either. The men go to the West Tower, which is completely self-sufficient with solar energy, a backup generator, a rain system, a vegetable garden, and plenty of wild game to hunt. On the other side of the gorge there's the East Tower, but contact with that guard is forbidden. The gorge has land mines and tactical barriers on the north and south, but there's no way to go across. As JD continues to show Levi around, he explains the mission. Every day Levi must walk the western rim and restock the ammo in the automatic gun turrets, which are located every 600 meters. He must also check the containment fence, suspended mines, and cloakers, which are devices that send false signals to all satellites to keep the gorge invisible. The radio checks in every 30 days, but there's no way to communicate with the outside. In case of an emergency there's a panic button that will activate the stray dog protocol, but JD doesn't know what that entails and advises Levi to run if it ever happens. JD explains that this place is as old as the Cold War, and back then, military teams from different nations made a pact to keep the place secret, so not even heads of state and presidents know about it. Levi's mission is simply to keep things in the gorge from coming out. It sounds crazy, and JD used to think so too until he saw something that the guards had named Hollow Men, which can now be heard screeching in the gorge. JD says that in the late 1940s, 3 horseback battalions were sent into the gorge to clean it out, but nobody returned, so the military is concentrating on doing containment instead. Afterward, JD leaves the tower and hikes all the way to the pickup point. A helicopter picks him up with a rope and a soldier asks for his identity. Once JD says the password, the soldier shoots him in the head and drops his body in the mountains. A month later, Levi has gotten used to his very boring routine. He walks the perimeter, does all the maintenance on the security systems, and does his check-in on the radio. The voice on the other side only wants to know if everything is fine and hangs up before Levi can ask any questions. While working on the garden, Levi notices some movement on the other tower. He rushes to his binoculars and sees Drasa cutting wood. She sees him too but ignores him. One night during a storm, Levi is startled awake by a nightmare and breaks a glass, which makes him think he's being attacked, so he grabs a gun. When he feels pain in his foot, he realizes he stepped on the glass and it was only an accident, so he calms down. While cleaning his foot, he notices that Drasa is still awake and watching him. However, she goes to bed when she notices him watching her back. Another month passes and Drasa has to celebrate her birthday alone. Tired of the boredom, she shoots a gun to get Levi's attention and holds up a sign asking for his name. Levi writes back that they aren't supposed to talk, so Drasa responds with her name and saying she'll do whatever she wants on her birthday. An amused Levi replies with his name too and raises a glass so they can make a toast. Next, Drasa plays music really loudly, and while she dances, he asks Levi to dance along. He explains he is a terrible dancer but an amazing sniper, so Drasa responds by shooting his water bottle. Levi quickly grabs his gun and shoots her bottle too. Then Drasa puts another bottle on her head intending to continue the game. However, she stops everything when she notices something moving in the gorge. When Levi looks down, he discovers strange creatures that look like people made of trees climbing up his side of the gorge wall. He immediately shoots one of these monsters and causes it to fall onto a mine, which blows up and brings most of the climbers down. There still are a few creatures climbing, so Levi continues shooting and Drasa helps him using her machine gun. By working together they bring down all the creatures in a matter of minutes. When they think it's over, a creature reaches Drasa's balcony, so she shoots it with her gun a few times before kicking it off. Then the monsters begin climbing the wall on her side and both soldiers have to work together again to stop them. Another creature falls on a mine and to fly and hurt Drasa in the shoulder. Then the creatures start climbing both walls at the same time, so Levi and Drasa use the machine guns to kill them and activate more mines as backup, this time effectively killing the monsters until no more show up. In the morning, Drasa takes care of her wounds and tells Levi it was her best birthday ever. Then he goes down to fix all the damage and replace the mines. Suddenly a drone flies out of the gorge and flies off. In December